and welcome to another episode of Women Lead TV brought to you by Connected Women of Influence. I'm super delighted this morning. It is morning on the West Coast that I get to introduce yet another one of our Women Lead TV hosts to Women Lead TV. So with me is the amazing, the wonderful, the stupendous Marcy Browe. Look at that. That's like really good. Marcy Browe is one of our new TV hosts. And Marcy, say hello to all of our viewers.
Hello, everybody in the Connected Women of Influence world. Nice to see you all.
Global stratosphere. We're going for global domination. That's the goal here. I love that. I want you to tell our listeners, I'm going to read a little bit about you because I want our listeners to know so much about you, but you specialize in personal branding portraits. Your goal is to help entrepreneurs up-level their image and attract the right fit clients. I love that phrase. And before taking her long-term passion for photography and becoming a full-time entrepreneur, Marcy worked, this is what I love about you and your background, you worked for major companies in marketing, advertising, and sales. And now, for many, many years, you've gotten to blend your extensive business and marketing experience with your creative side that results in photos which are spot on for your unique visual brand. And as an avid lover, this is a little bit of fun fact, as an avid lover of all things outdoors, Marcy takes pride in running environmentally conscious business. When you're not photographing, we can find you surfing, biking, hiking, camping, or practicing yoga, including that I learned this morning. What was it? A yoga summit?
Yoga
Is that what it was? What was
it? Was it yoga? Yeah, it was a yoga festival, music festival, all blended together. That's where I was.
Oh, wow. Okay. And where was it at? Just give us a little details because I'm like, our listeners and viewers should know.
Yeah. Well, we're filming this in April and it was in the desert. And so it was outside of Ojai and Bakersfield for people that know Southern California.
Wow.
And it was breathtaking and spectacular because we've been inundated with so much snow and rain this year, but the wildflowers were mind-blowing.
Oh, springtime. Yes, yes, and yes. I bet that was gorgeous. Well, tell our viewers about your new show series. It's what's the title of it and what's the focus of your show? I'm sure there's something to do with branding in there is what I'm thinking.
You got it. Yeah, so thank you so much. So Michelle has invited me to be a show host on this beautiful series, Women Lead TV. And so what I will be doing is I will be bringing you guests and we're going to talk about how to use your personal branding to attract your right fit clients. So I will have a series of guests on. It's going to be a mix of my past clients and also women that I know in the work world, different industries, and we're going to talk about how to use your brand to really pull people to you.
Wow, I love that. And I know you use the term right fit clients. I'm really dying to know. I love that term. It's almost like I'm thinking, but now we're broadcasting. You should trademark that. Right fit clients. I like that. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I actually, I learned that term from a woman named Carrie Murphy, and she does a lot of on-screen camera training, and she uses that term. So I borrowed it from her. So when she uses that term, it just made a lot of sense to me because I'm always talking with my clients. Before I even do a photo shoot, I have a planning call with them. And really all the questions on this planning call really come back to who are you trying to attract in your business? And the right fit client is someone that you oh, I'm so excited I get to work with this person. I want more of them in my life. It's not the people that bring you down or you're like, oh, I have to work with this person or this industry isn't a right fit for me. It's those juicy right fit people that you went into business for in the first place. That's the person that will find you.
Love that. And then we have all those kind of downer ones that's a whole other conversation as a talk show dishing. Yeah, we'll do that down the road. I love it. Who are some of the people that you're thinking of bringing onto the show? I want to hear what kind of people. It's I know you said a little bit what the conversation might be, but get our viewers a little excited about what the type of guests are that you're going to bring on.
Yeah, so you can look forward to me interviewing. So a couple of my clients, there's a couple of my clients that I really love working with, and because they had a really clear version of their brand. So I have a guest that's going to be coming on, and she's really leaning into the superhero theme, and I'm going to save it for her interview. But really, she's a superhero in her industry, and so she worked with this branding company and came out up with this really cool brand. And so I'm going to be interviewing her about how she brings that into her marketing. And I'm also going to be interviewing people from my community of my yoga music festival community, of people that are bringing those two worlds together, and how you can create a brand to really attract the right people to your events. So if you're an event planner, stay tuned, because we're going to talk all about that. So those are the kinds of people I'm going to be interviewing on this show series.
Well, hook me up, man. I'm an event planner, sort of, in my own company, but I'm like, I think I need to know about this and more about the yoga music festival, because I'm like, again, that sounds very like exciting and like calming all at the same time. Throw it into a festival. Did I get it right?
You go and party a little bit, and then you do yoga, and then you party a little more. So it's like not an overwhelming amount of everything.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so a big question, so all the viewers can see, like, what are you most excited about it being a women lead TV host? I mean, well, I'm excited, and you're excited, but what are you excited about? Like, what are you super excited to, like, be now recognized as a TV host, which is exciting stuff.
Yeah, well, I've been working really hard and connecting deeply into my community of women entrepreneurs. And so for the last 9 years that I've been a business owner, I've been really focused on making deep connections. I mean, yes, you can go broad and know a lot of people, which you will do if you're networking, but I like to go and dig in a little deeper and get to know the person behind the brand. So I'm excited to bring this really cool cross section of women that I've been getting to know over the years to your audience, Michelle. And that's what I'm really excited about, because I get to have a lot of private conversations, or I'll spend the day doing a photo shoot with someone, and it's just so beautiful and rich, the conversation. So I'm going to bring that level and that type of conversation to this platform.
I love it. I have to tell you, it's like one of our members was just like, singing your praises, and it was Eileen Gaffin. So she was doing an interview for the member interviews the other day, and she was like, let's schedule it on the date that I'm meeting with Marcy to have my photo taken. So it was super cool, because she was like raving, and she looked really good, by the way, which was the whole point. She had a good photo session with you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about personal brands, because I know this is like really the inner part of you and all you do at your core as a business professional and personal branding photographer. But what, you keep hearing the word. I feel like it's so homogenized now. What does personal brand mean? What can you share?
Yeah, so personal brand has definitely had a moment in the zeitgeist. So people are talking about it now, and people might have like an idea of what it means, but really the if you could sum it up, I could sum it up into one definition. A personal brand is what you're known for. So if you're thinking about entering the work world, or if you're thinking about getting referrals for clients, who are people going to think of when they have an opportunity? So are you the kind of person that they're going to think of when they think of an opportunity? Or if you have, if you're known for something, what do people say about you when you're not in the room? Or in addition to that,
scary.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk. We don't need to go there.
I was thinking, me personally, I'm like, what do people say when I'm not in the room? Issue. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's your brand, and like it or not, you have one. We all have a brand, so it's not like it's something you have to invent. We all have one. Some people need a little help cleaning it up and leaning into things a little more, but you don't have to like reinvent yourself. You come prepackaged with a personal brand.
I like that. And for our viewers, like, what do you love most about what you do? I know that there's many things, but kind of, you get to do what you want to do every single day. So we think as entrepreneurs, but what do you love most about what you do?
Well, what I love most about what I do as a photographer is I work with mostly women. So really getting to look another woman in the eyes and help her feel like she is her best version of herself in front of the camera. So it's a very intimate, vulnerable experience, and I'm not afraid of that. I love those kinds of connections, and I can definitely go there with other women. So I really love that, because at the end of the day, the photos are going to be beautiful. You're going to have, you're going to have a set of photos that you love. That's a given. But it's that really beautiful connection and those relationships that I develop with women while I'm photographing them. I live for that.
And things have changed. I know I don't know, how long have you been in business? A long time, right?
I've been in business 9 years.
Okay, so there's so much that's changed, though. Do you agree? And I want to hear how from you, that we need to, as women and as entrepreneurs, get way more comfortable with being visible on video. It's like, in pictures, like the social media pieces. And do you find women struggle with that a little bit? And like, what can you share maybe as a couple of tips for women just to get over ourselves? Like, I'm thinking even myself, because I'm like, I want to get new pictures. You and I have talked about it. Another one of your colleagues is, we've talked about it. And I'm just like, I'm holding myself back. Like, I need to do another whole thing. And it's really important now in business. So how do you help women?
Yeah, it's an era where you can just hide behind, one profile picture that you took 15 years ago. Really, we're being encouraged to be seen more, whether that's seen in social media, seen on video, seen on a stage. There's just an explosion of visibility. And I definitely have seen some people, a lot of people come to me and they're like, I know I need to do this. I'm not doing it as a yeah, it's a necessary evil. So a lot of people come to me knowing that they kind of need to do it, but they're not sure. They may be hearing, there's all kinds of advice out there too. Like, you need to be on social media 4 times an hour. Like,
Lord. No.
But you're right, Michelle. I think we're living in a different world where people know that the key to being visible is consistency, and that's what the world is now. And you don't need to be on every single day, but you do need to show up and get your face out there. And so I think a lot of women have problems with that. I agree.
They do. And then how do you help them get over it? Do you just kind of encourage them? Hey, it's like, it's about showcasing your best self. It's like, what do you say to women that just kind of like comforts that level of anxiety? Let's say that, because it's never going to be perfect. I'm personally never going to be a size 0, but women go, oh, I need to lose however much. It's just so frustrating. And you're like, get over it. But
yeah. So I think the answer to that question is really framing the conversation around, how are you, Miss Woman out there? How are you serving your clients? And once they start talking about what they bring to the world and how they can serve, because most people, as you know, Michelle, you've been doing this a long time. Most people are in business to serve and help or bring something to the forefront. So once you switch the conversation from it being about you to being about your client, then it kind of makes it easier to talk about, okay, well, if I can show up and serve and be visible to this person that needs me, it's a little more getting out of your head. Yeah, because none of us are getting any younger. And a lot of us don't look the way we looked when we were 25. And it's not about that. And sure, trust me, I have a lot of conversations with women about not looking too perfect, because that's off-putting in so many ways. And I think a lot of people would be turned off if you presented yourself as too perfect, too much airbrushing, too much Photoshop, too much body warping. Like, we want to be real because people can relate to some of your quote unquote flaws.
I mean, flaws are just like our like authentic self. But I totally get what you're saying. And it is, we struggle on the perfection thing. We've seen women like that I go, oh, wow, you've been freshened up a touch much.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that possible? It is.
Yeah. And I think I'm here to say, we don't need to be perfect. And the more women try to be perfect, the further they get away from their authenticity. And I know that's a word that can be overused, but trying to be perfect, I think, is the wrong way to go. And the more you can, and I was talking with a client on Friday about some of her perceived flaws in her business. Like, she felt like she didn't have a team in place. She felt like she was embarrassed about some weight she was carrying. And, like, we can talk about that kind of behind the scenes. And that way I know how to address these things when they come up in the photo shoot. But, we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to be real. And that's, I think, more important than.
I like those words. We're just trying to be real. And even today with the TV show, I'm like, there's so many things. I've had the internet go out on the shows. It's like, things like that are scrolling at the bottom. Sometimes it's like I hit the wrong button. I mean, it's just crazy, but mistakes will be there, and it's all in how we deal with it. And there's no perfection. So I love that you said being real. I love that. I want to give a shout out to 2 of our members who are just watching, and there's some others, but Charlesetta Medina goes, hey, I can't believe I caught you guys live. So hi, Charlesetta.
Hi, Charlesetta.
And we got Shelly Harrison with Luminary Leaders, who's like watching. And I want to say, hi, Shelly. Thank you so much for watching. And to the others that haven't commented, but I see our live viewing audience. So thank you for watching. Couple more questions, girl. I know we talked about personal branding, but give me kind of, you say that if you do your brand well, and let's just say more of the business or corporate branding, if you do it well, where are the opportunities that come from that? Because I know so many times I either see entrepreneurs that go, I don't care about my brand. I am who I am. Then there's the other side that people control, from any message that's sent. They have to approve everything. If they get commented or, mentioned, they need to approve it before it's done. It's like, that's like on the other extreme. But where do the best business opportunities come from when you have a good business brand and a good personal brand?
Okay, let me just, so this kind of goes back to the conversation about feeling the need to be on social media all the time. So I realized in my business, I don't need to be on social media every single day. What I use social media for is to reinforce the relationships I've developed in person. So let's just say I go to a networking event or I attend a women's lunch. What I'll do is I'll connect with people on social media so I can stay top of mind for the people that I've already met. I know in my business, I don't get a lot of clients that come directly from social media. It's more of a platform that I use to remind people that I'm here, remind people of my heart and my values. So that I feel like is where opportunities come, is when people get to know you, and it doesn't happen in an instant. So I think the brand and doing things that are intentional, so people know who you are, what you stand for, and then what to expect when they work with you. And those are just little subtle things. And the personal brand can be developed by social media. It's how you walk into a networking event. It's what you say in your email marketing. Let's just say it's all the ways that you're visible, whether it's formal social media or not. Because I got to tell you, Michelle, yes, there are those people that have their team moderating every comment on social media, but that person's going to walk into an event or a lunch and they're not going to have any of that social infrastructure, and they're just going to be themselves. That's a brand too.
Right. And here's another one, because I see this now, at least coming out of COVID and during COVID, but how with the kind of Zoom meetings and the video interviews where we're in our office environments, not paying attention to what's behind us and how we come across on video. Like, that's another big one. I mean, I for years had like cartoons like as my back wall in my office. And then it was like, okay, is that the brand I want to convey? Maybe in part, like for those that know me, I'm a big Disney nut. But at the same time, then how you're centered, it's like what's behind you, like those are things to worry about as well, because that's part of it. So it's not just how we show up, it's also how we come across online. What are we posting? What are we commenting on? I think those are important too. And sometimes you just want to like not comment at all, is what I'm thinking with all the.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that I've chosen not to work with because I've seen how they represent themselves online when it's their personal account, or there's just things that I'm like, okay, that's a mental note. That's a big red flag. That person is never going to get my business because they come across as like totally disconnected from my values. Or if that's how you're going to talk about someone, then why am I going to refer a client to you? So your brand can repel people in good ways and bad ways. Your brand, what I just described, is a bad repelling, but a good repelling is when you don't want to work with everybody. Maybe you've gotten your place of your business to a place where you're full, you have a waiting list, and you really want to attract people that are a perfect fit, and you want to kind of almost clear people out that aren't a good fit. So yeah, right. Your brand can work for you or against you.
Well, and I agree. And you know what the other part is? Like, who we repel, good or bad, is always interpretation, right? So I think like what you're saying, the more that you can keep that in mind, whether you work for a company and how you come across online versus if you're your own entrepreneur, just know that like there was one time I did a video, it was one of these, and somebody came back to me on email and said, you need to stop using the word all the time. And I was devastated. I was devastated. And then I went, you know what? She's right. He or she, I don't know who it was. It was an email that I didn't recognize, but I was willing to accept it. They were nice about how they said it. I took it very personally at first, and then I went, no, that's okay, because that is something it's like that I could work on, right? But I do see that people repel in a way where they just feel like it's okay to throw out their comment on something, and yet, we're not really a society that's as kind and nice and, wonderful, maybe because of social media. We just need to be more respectful and not knowing what our actions are could repel, you know? I mean, I might look at something differently than you do, but at the end of the day, your opinion's important, my opinion's important, and make sure how you want to come across online is coming across. I love that. So I just totally took over the interview, and I apologize.
No, things that came up to me while you were saying that, and I feel like you have to have a thick skin when you put yourself out there. It's not for the faint of heart to put yourself out there, because you will get unsolicited feedback. But I think the key is to do that inner work and doing that self-development, because the more you're clear on who you are, some stuff will roll off your back, because you're like, okay, well, consider the source, this, but yeah, you kind of do have to have a thick skin when you put yourself out there, because you're going to get all the feedback, not just good feedback.
So the question is, are we willing to accept that today on our Women Lead TV show? Because yes, I'll take the positive. It's like, I will take the suggested improvements as well. I'm loving our platform. I'm excited about you. I did learn something about you that I was like, I did not know that. So it's just as a kind of final, we only got a couple minutes left. You're a green certified business. I'm like, what is that? How did you go get that? How is that, important to you in your business? Has that provided you opportunity? I have a tendency to ask 5 questions at once, so I apologize.
I get it. I'm tracking the show. I get it.
You're good. Okay, you're good.
Yeah. So when I was in my corporate life and I was thinking about starting my own business as a photographer, I just saw in corporate there can be a lot of waste. Not a lot of forethought done around how is this trade show, or how is all this travel affecting the planet? Do we really need to use all these resources that we're using? And I got a little depressed actually contributing to this in the corporate world. And so I decided I'm going to take my power back. And when I started my business, the very first thing I did was I took Marie Forleo's B School. And Marie Forleo said, you're in business to create something. What do you stand for? And I was like, I'm going to create my business to be sustainable. And I found a program in California. It's called the Green Business Network, and they will certify you. They will come out to your place of business. They came to my photo studio. They looked at all the things that I was doing, and I do give a portion of my proceeds will go to green certified organizations, and I'm very active in my local community and some green business activities. So for me, it was just really important. That was my give back. And a lot of people have give back components related to their business, but for me, it's all about sustainability. I love being outside. I love this earth, and I want to leave it better than I found it. So that's how I choose to contribute.
Girl, I think that's amazing. And that just says something about you. It's like you don't just give lip service to it. You are actually taking action on it. But I had no idea that even existed. And, definitely shout out to Marie Forleo, because she's all that. We'll just go with that. So is there any, if our viewers want to reach out to you and connect with you, how do you want people to connect? It's like
Sure, I'd love that. Yeah, you can come right to my website or my social media. My website is my name. It's marcybrowe.com. It's on the bottom of your screen. And my LinkedIn, as far as I know, Michelle, I'm the only Marcy Browe in the world. That's a fun fact. I've not found another one. So if you just Google my name, you will find me. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those things.
I think I want to be the only Marcy Browe out there. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm it.
I would think Michelle Bergquist would be an original kind of thing, but it's not. There's a lot of Michelle Bergquists out there. It's crazy. And who would have thought?
I know you wouldn't get that. I've never heard another Bergquist, but apparently they're out there.
Well, you are the one and only, and I want to be the one and only. So we'll go with that. So final thing, is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to share with our viewers? And, we're going to see you leading the charge on your own Women Lead TV show series, but tell everybody again what it is and give us something as a wrap up, motivational, share something, a tip, anything we can end the show on.
Yeah, so I'm going to be coming on this platform live with my interviews. It's all about branding and how to get your brand to attract your right fit clients. And I just want to give a shout out to all the women out there in business. Really, I want to just let you know, if you're a woman and you're in business, you're probably having lots of ups and downs, and that's very normal. And I just want you to know that I see you and I honor you. And I just thank you so much for building this community, Michelle, because outside of this interview, of course, there's this whole community you've built with Connected Women of Influence. And those are my people, women in business that are coming together to share the good and the bad and the ugly. That's what I'm all about. And that's what I love coming to your community, Michelle. So thank you for giving me a place to connect with other women.
Dang, I didn't know you were going to go there. I was like, thank you for that. But that's pretty awesome. And, and it's like, God, let's get back out there. I mean, people are getting out there, again, purposeful, connecting and relationship building. It's like, we've all been through so much. I have to share with you before we wrap up, a friend of mine, when COVID was coming around, he goes, we're going to all go into COVID together. He goes, but how we come out of it is going to be different for everybody. And I was like, at the time, whatever, dude. But now it's like, I go, wow, he's right? Because so many of us, like some people are flourishing and thriving, others are struggling and having to kind of like, turn themselves upside down or inside out. But, there is something to be said of authenticity and, authentic relationship building. And, I think we have that. And I think people that want to reach out to you should know that they're going to get quite the experience if they work with you. So there is that, because you have a nice pedigree behind you. All right, that's it. Is a wrap. And I'm going to say thank you. We'll see you next, being Women Lead TV host. So that's it. Bye, everybody. And thanks for watching today.